Hi everyone, and welcome to my channel called zuzanareacts, where I learn all things Bara with your help, and I just share my Slovak Central European point of view. And in today's video, we are going to look at Abhijit. One of his podcasts are As Abhijit, which is exploring some connection between European gods and your gods. So I'm actually very, very curious to look at this video together with you. I haven't previewed that, so it will be brand new knowledge to me. I'm super duper excited. But before we get into that,
please like this video and click on the subscribe button and turn on the notification. Thank you so much for your support.
oh, let's kick this one off.
The Greek god Zeus suspiciously looks like the Greek version of Indra. Knowing that our civilization is older than the Greeks, have they literally copied our devas and made them their gods? Good question. So, who is Zeus? So, Zeus is a Greek god. He is the god of thunder, right? And he is a god who, according to Greek mythology, fought with a great sea monster and killed that sea monster and saved the world in the process. So he is the god of thunder, and he is the killer of this great sea monster. Now, in the ancient Indian Vedic pantheon, we have the great god Indra, who was the most powerful god. He was the god of thunder, and he fought the great serpent Vritra, and he destroyed Vritra, and thereby he saved the world, because Vritra had encircled the oceans, and the world was no longer able to access the water of the oceans. So this great serpent, this great dragon, had to be slain, and Indra, this heroic, powerful thunder god and the hammer god, he fought this great dragon Vritra and destroyed him, because of which he is known as Vritrahan, means the destroyer of Vritra. So that's a theme that you see throughout the Indo-European world. This great thunder god, who is also a hammer god, who destroys this great sea serpent, right? So Zeus is definitely the Greek version of Indra, no doubt about it.
Interesting.
And Zeus also took on characteristics of an older Vedic god called Dios Pita. Dios Pita was essentially the father of all the Vedic gods. He was the supreme deity in the old Vedic pantheon, Dios Pita. So Dios Pita became Zeus Pater in Greek, and he became Jupiter in Rome. That is how it goes. And Jupiter is again a thunder god who kills the great sea serpent. Do you see this pattern?
I love
Now
that.
the question is, did the Greeks steal this from the Indians? That is the question that Akash is asking, and I'm going to answer that right now. So let me share something on the screen. This here is the name of a bunch of Vedic tribes, Vedic clans rather, okay? So there was this great battle during the Vedic times, a very famous battle, the battle of the 10 kings. And in this battle, the Bharata king Sudas defeated a coalition of other Vedic clans. He defeated them and he expelled them from the Indian subcontinent, and they had to go into exile westwards, all of these Vedic clans. So these are some of the names of these Vedic clans. The Parshva clan, who became the Persians, the Sarmatians, the Brigu clan, who became the Phrygians, who eventually lived in Anatolia, and the Alina clan, who became the Hellenic peoples. So this Alina clan of Rigvedic Aryans, or the Rigvedic people, had to migrate westwards, go into exile. They never came back. And the Alinas came to be known as the Hellenic peoples eventually. The Hellenic peoples gave rise to a nation called Hellas, which is the Greek version of Greece. We call it Greece in English, and in the Greek language, it's called Hellas. And they speak the Hellenic languages. And these are the descendants of the Alina clan of the Rigvedic people. And therefore, to answer this question, they did not steal the Indian gods from us. It was their gods. These were their gods. They moved westwards and they continued their traditions. They did not give their gods up. They just gave the language eventually morphed into something different, and that's how all the Indo-European languages emerged out of one ancient primordial language. So it is the westward expansion or expulsion of these Rigvedic clans that gave rise to all the different branches of the Indo-European peoples, and the Alinas became the Hellenic people, and that's why Zeus is essentially the same as Indra. And the Romans, they absorbed this culture and the pantheon of gods from the Greeks. The Romans did not make any bones about the fact that they were taking culture from the Greeks. Right? The Romans did not have a great culture of their own. They were great conquerors. So they conquered Greece and absorbed their culture. So Zeus Pater became Jupiter in Rome. That's how it went. And there is another thunder god, another hammer god who destroyed a snake. He is the Viking god Thor.
Sorry.
And that is again the same pattern. If you see Indra, he has two main weapons. One is the mace or the hammer, and the other is the thunderbolt, the Vajra. Even the mace is called the Vajra. So Indra's weapons are the Vajra in physical form, which is the mace or the hammer, and the Vajra in the form of a thunderbolt. And Zeus is exactly that. And Zeus also destroys, he does battle with the great Jormungandr, the Midgard serpent, and kills the serpent and saves the world. So there is this pattern of Indra everywhere across India and all the way west to the Nordic countries. So to answer your question, to summarize, Zeus is a Greek god, but yes, he originates in India as Indra.
Wow, this was pretty cool. I wonder what you thought. Have you had that knowledge how this all is interconnected? On one hand, it actually really does not surprise me, but it's really cool to see those parallels. That in the end, everything is just the same, and just we use different names. And I'm aware of Hellenic culture, and it's interesting that he's also mentioning Vikings. By the way, did you know that Vikings, at least when I studied history, we were told that they were by far the most brutal ones. Like when they were sledging Europe, it was like the most massacred, most violent like tribes or whatever. So I always think about that, and then I'm thinking about how currently like it's the most developed countries in Europe. So very interesting how things change. But this was around Middle Ages when they were so like very savages. That apparently they were the worst savages. That there was no one as savage as them, which is very interesting. So the thing is, what I wanted to actually highlight is it's not really like I would say European gods. I haven't never really, and I think I will look into the paganism in Slovakia prior Christianity and the gods here before. But he's mentioned something about like European gods, and I think he might just mean Greeks and Romans, because there is no, like, I would not, agree with that statement simply because I don't relate to it, and I don't think we had any like gods here. So, but it's very interesting. I would love to know what you thought about that, if you had any idea that this is how things actually are and how they're related, in the comments below. And that will be it for today's video. If you did like it, please give a thumbs up, subscribe to this channel, and share with someone that you think might like this content. And until then, please do take care. Much love, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.